Can you? I'm tired. Oh my gosh. This season, you're definitely my sidekick.
Should we take a picture now? Oh, I
Awkward.
guess one of us has to.
3, 2, 1.
Hey y'all! Welcome back to Keepin It Catholic.
Season 4.
Episode number
2.
Welcome back, you guys. How was your week?
So, we're back, and like Star said, it is episode number 2, and today we're going to talk about what a life!
Oh, life.
What a life.
Life.
You know why we're talking about life? Does anybody know? Tell us now. Go. Great.
Good answer.
We are in, officially, Respect Life Month. So, it's still Hispanic Heritage Month, so we're still fiesta-ing.
We're still celebrating, obviously.
But also, USCCB is named the month of October as Respect Life Month.
You know, sometimes things can be a little rough. We get it. We know. We feel you 100%.
100%.
However, life is beautiful. And
Life
there
is
are
beautiful.
a lot of things that we can be grateful for.
Absolutely.
Even if we're struggling with something internally with ourselves, there's still things that we can look at that we can find good about ourselves.
Yep. So we just kind of want to throw some things at you so that you understand how dignified you are and how you're loved and how you're cared for and what the church tells us about life. Now, we all know the big one, right? Defend life. We are a right to life people. Yes. The Catholic Church defends life at the most vulnerable state, the most defenseless state, which is in the womb. But there's more to it. And I kind of want to highlight a little bit of that.
Yeah. So, like Jose said, you know, we are obviously supposed to respect life in the womb. That is God's creation. That came from God. That didn't come from anybody else. And that is part of God's plan. And we should not be interfering in which way, it doesn't matter what way you think, is acceptable. It's not acceptable. That's what our faith teaches us. And unfortunately, society right now is trying to play very hard against it. And unfortunately, a lot of, you know, our states, our cities that we live in are, you know, establishing things that don't really go in line with our faith.
Right. Now, before you guys start throwing a bunch of angry comments at us,
please don't.
Slow down. We understand. And I think it's something that needs to be said. We could, as church, we could definitely be a lot more pastoral about how we approach this. We understand that there are a lot of circumstances, a lot of things that could happen to a woman or a family or some, you know, we get it. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, our job as church is to walk with you, pray with you, journey with you. That's where we're supposed to step in, not only for the life of the child, but for the life of that mother. So keep that in the back of your minds. We're conscious of that, but we need to do a better job.
Absolutely. And again, I've said this before, Pope Francis wants us to accompany each other throughout anything that we're going through, good or bad. As Christians, as baptized Christians, we are called to do that. We're called to journey with each other. So, also, another thing to note about respecting life, there's also people who are going through a rough time in life. And whether it be in different countries, different living circumstances, they also have a right to find, what's the word that I'm trying to say? Support. Care. They also have the right to find the means to better their life.
Absolutely.
So,
why are we saying all this? What does the Catechism tell us?
Catechism tells us, or teaches us, that we are to respect life, respect and defend life from womb to tomb. So,
what does that mean?
It is not, it's every stage of life.
From conception to natural death.
Natural death, correct.
Natural death.
Yes.
And that's important for you guys, for us to hear that. And here's why we chose to do What a Life today. We know that a lot of young men and women, young people in general, are suffering right now with a lot of mental illness. Depression and anxiety has taken a hold of our young people.
Right.
And it's sad. So we want to talk about you guys today and what your lives mean, not only to us, but to the church as a whole.
Yeah. And so we understand that life can throw a million different obstacles at us, and honestly, we don't know how to handle them. You know, it's hard to kind of manage and gauge how to handle certain situations. But regardless of how you're feeling, if you're going through anxiety, if you're going through depression, I know you hear this probably all the time, right? You hear this. You are important. You are loved. You are needed.
Yeah.
You know, and I know you probably, if you're listening to this right now and you're going through this right now, I know you probably have heard this, but this is legitimately the truth. You are loved. God loved you. God created you. He put you in your mother's womb. He made you, made your soul, brought you to life.
Yeah.
Your mother gave birth to you because you have a purpose. And your purpose isn't to just live in that anxiety, live in that depression.
And if you're having a hard time understanding what your purpose is, that's okay. Start with this. The Catechism tells us that our purpose in life is to know God, love God, and serve Him. So if you're struggling right now and you have, all it takes is the faith of the size of a mustard seed. If you have that little bit of faith in you that says, I'm going to get through this, and you have a lot of dark days, and that's okay. But as long as you maintain that little bit of faith and you know your foundation of your purpose in life is to know God, love God, and serve Him, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
You're going to get through it.
And listen, I go through stages of where I just shut down because I just feel so overwhelmed. And I kind of just shut myself off. And this is something that I've discussed with my life coach, and I always tell her, like, every time I feel so overwhelmed or I feel like there's so much going on, I don't want to answer any text messages. I don't want to answer any calls. I literally want to just unplug myself. And that's my way of coping and kind of getting through the stresses of what I have going on. And even though the stresses are minor compared to what maybe other people are going through, that's how I deal with it. But, you know, you can deal with it the way that is best for you, but don't go to an extreme length where you feel like you have to do something
Drastic.
You're
never alone. And I think that's the hardest thing for us as young people to understand. We may be in a room full of people that love us and care for us, but there are times when you feel all by yourself.
Yeah.
And that is a struggle. And I think what's important to know is that you aren't. There are peers, there are family members, your priests, your deacons, diocesan staff that are willing and able. And
us. We are here for you, literally, whatever you need.
I don't know that we're a top option, but we are an option.
And we'll try.
Even you may be so overwhelmed. The one thing that holds true, though, is that you bring life to other people.
Yeah.
Whether it be through the words you speak, the art, music, food, just your smile. Your presence gives life to others. That life that God gave you, that life that He blew into you, you share that. Sometimes without even realizing it. So I'm here to remind you of that. Listen, you may not be able to see it.
Yeah.
But on the board behind us, there's affirmations. And I think you need that. So on the board we have, you are beautiful, you're handsome, you are loved.
You're unique, you're dignified, you're strong, you're super smart.
And you're
Not
talented.
just smart,
And you're
super.
talented. And you matter. Every person matters. From conception to natural death. Everybody is dignified. Genesis chapter 1 verse 26 and 27 says, you are made in the image and likeness of God. Now, if you look like me, that could be scary. But we are made in the image and likeness of God. God poured himself into me. God pours himself into you continuously. And you have to remember that. You're so needed. You are so unique that this world would be different without you.
Yep. You may not think so, but it's true.
Star and I, this is true to our hearts. Like this Respect Life Month is near and dear to us because we know people who have struggled with thoughts of self-harm. We know people who have taken their lives. And it's sad because
it's sad that they felt it had to come to that conclusion. Or
that they were that alone. That they felt that alone. And it makes, it's almost selfish, but it's like, what could I have done? Why wasn't I there? Why didn't I know?
And I think as church, we need to recognize that maybe we need to do a better job of being with people and, talking to people and getting to know them. And, maybe, I don't know, maybe that's something we should be doing better of.
Absolutely. And there's agencies, there are people. I have information here for Catholic Charities for our diocese, and the director of Catholic Charities is Kevin Hickey. We give him a shout out in the last episode, and we're doing it again today. The work that they do there is life-giving.
Yes.
They meet with people, they form relationship with people, and they help people, whether across the board with needs. So here's a phone number to take down. Catholic Charities, you can reach them at 856-342-4100 or go to www.catholiccharities.camden.org. So last thing we want to give you is, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard this number before, have seen it. It's the suicide hotline. Please, if nobody else, if you can't reach out to anybody else, call this number. It's 800-273-8255. 800-273-8255. We share this because we love you.
Yeah,
and we want you around. And we know that in this game of life, things could get a little tricky, a little difficult, a little sticky.
Yes.
But your Keepin' It Catholic crew is here to walk with you, pray with you, and love you. So if you ever need anything, please reach out.
Please, just do it.
Remember,
don't hesitate.
You're loved.
Yes, always.
So that's it for this episode.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Any questions, comments, please feel free.
Leave below.
And
Make
follow.
sure you like, subscribe. I didn't do
share.
that the last episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share with your friends, family, whoever it is.
The dog, the cat, the goldfish.
Yeah.
Send it.
With that being said, we hope you
next time.
enjoyed this episode. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.
Bye.